Hello and welcome to another edition of the Solid Sports Video Blog. This is a special Thursday night football edition. And today's date is September 24th, 2020. And tonight, the two teams in the Thursday night matchup will be the Miami Dolphins versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's the game tonight. And you can see it on the NFL Network. And I'm going to preview the game. And thank you so much for joining me here. We'll do this every Thursday until we don't have any more Thursday night games probably to about, I think, week 15. I think it's the final time they usually do a Thursday night, I believe. But we'll do it all season long. I'm sure everybody said thank you so much for watching. Thank you for watching the Solid Sports Gamer channel. This is episode 141 of the blog. And like I said, every Thursday we'll have a special Thursday night edition, and I'll do got new power rankings going into week 3. A couple of changes in the power rankings this week. But I think most people will agree with these teams for the most part, probably except for the team I got number 5. We'll get into that later on in the video. But we will take a deep look at the Dolphins and the Jaguars as they get ready for this matchup. Miami come in at 0-2, and the Jaguars come in even 1-1 after they almost won last week against the Titans in a close game. The Dolphins were in a close game with the Bills as well. That's what we're going to start with, the Miami Dolphins, of course, in the AFC East. Wasn't expected to really be, it would be sort of a rebuilding year. But they're not off to a good start, losing their first 2 games. As I mentioned last week, they played the Buffalo Bills, which is a division opponent. Gave them all they can handle. Actually, I think they took the lead, and then Buffalo was able to pull it out at the end. But some of the questions is it really time to give the reins to Tua Tagovailoa? Of course, the young rookie quarterback from Alabama. He said he's been looking good in practice. It's been rumbling that this could be the week. Maybe if Ryan Fitzpatrick struggles in this game, maybe they pull him and put Tua in. Or some people have said, well, maybe it might be next week since they got the extra couple of days off to get them ready. I believe they play the Seattle Seahawks, which will be it's going to be a tough game for them. But I guess sooner than later he'll be in there. But in my opinion, I think they should wait. Ryan Fitzpatrick's still a serviceable quarterback. If he gets hurt or something, unconceivable happens, I guess you have to go to Tua. But I will wait as long as I can. But the way the AFC is, you're not out of it yet at 0-2. But I just don't see the Dolphins really doing a lot. Don't have a lot of talent around Tua right now anyway. I guess the good thing to get them in is to get them some reps, get them some real live ball action, because practice don't matter. Even though you practice well, sometimes that don't translate into the real game. You ain't gonna really learn until you actually play in the game. So, but I think whatever Miami do, like I said, I think I said this during my previous special when I previewed the whole football season. And if Miami made this choice, I think no matter what they do, if they let them sit, I think that's fine. I think if they let them play, I think that's fine as well. Only thing with Tua that's different is he has a history of injuries already the last few years in college. So that's why I would rather have him sit. If I had to choose one or the other, I would probably let him sit a little bit more until I really feel like he's fully healthy, even though they said he is. I will wait. But if Miami decides to go to him, I don't blame him. But just like when they were saying, like the Chicago Bears situation, for example, when they went back to Trubisky, I think once you put Tua in, you can't turn away from him. Even if he struggles, you gotta let him play it out if they make that decision. So I think, I had a feeling they're gonna wait. But as rumors starting to pop up that it could be this game. You could see him tonight if Ryan Fitzpatrick struggles. Like I said, don't get any easier. I was just talking about their schedule. I think they got Seattle on their schedule. Matter of fact, let me pull up their schedule right now. They have a tough schedule coming up. So, and maybe that's why Miami looking at it. Well, maybe with the difference that the schedule's tough, might as well go ahead and get him out there. Let him take his lumps if he has to. Go ahead and get him acclimated. but I would wait if I was them. Okay, let me get the schedule here. Yep. Pull the schedule up here. Sorry about the wait. Sorry about the noise. Like I said, I had to delay it because I had the trash truck out there, and then, like I said, I'm actually still at work, so you know the residents in the house, they yell and scream every once in a while when I was just saying something, so that threw me off. But now I finally got their schedule up. Yeah, they got Seattle. It's at home. That 49ers game ain't so tough anymore with all the injuries they have. I think they said Jimmy Garoppolo might not be ready. Rams on the schedule. Of course, the whole NFC West, which is now looking like the greatest division in the history of the NFL. But their schedule don't get easy maybe till, you know, mid-November. Then, you know, they got the Dolphins, the Jets, who are just as bad. Actually, a home and home. I think they get the Jets twice in a row. I think I've never seen this before. They got the Jets twice in a row, but I think it's a bye week in between. But still, you play the same team twice in a row. I don't know if the Jets had the same schedule like that. But anyway, it don't get any easier for the Dolphins. They could be definitely on 4 by the Seattle game if they lose tonight. I think that 49ers game would be interesting now that all the injuries they have, but they got a tough schedule. So, like I said, so we'll see if they actually turn the tour. Is the season over already? No, I don't. Like I said, the AFC is wide open, so I want to say the season's over yet. I don't see them making the playoffs. Even if they lose this game, I would say the season's over. But well, the way I'm looking at it, if you're playing for the playoffs, yeah, the season's over. You know, I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs. I didn't think they was gonna make the playoffs before the season started. I just think they was gonna try to build up Tua, get him ready, get him together. I think that's what this season really is about. And the next season, I think, would be a season I think they would have tried to really compete and show the world something. And like I said, they made a lot of moves. They had a lot of injuries as well, Dolphins. So, this last week was really bad with injuries. The 49ers got the worst though. But a lot of people with Saquon Barkley is gone for the year for the Giants. That's one of the big names that's gone. Like I said, Garoppolo and Joey Bosa, my defensive player of the year pick. So it was a lot of injuries last week. The 49ers as well, they was complaining about the field, and they got to play right back on that field again this week against the New York Giants. So they were saying that field at MetLife need to be touched up. So, but to just stay on topic, it depends on how you look at this season. I think this, as far as like playoffs, of course, you wasn't thinking they was going to make the playoffs. But I think they can still accomplish some things this season. Like I said, get Tua feet wet and start building more of the organization. So let's look at their opponent tonight, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jags coming at 1-1. Of course, they lost a tight one to the Titans last week, 33-30. But is winning the games bad? You know, they almost won that game. It would have been 2-0. That depends on how you look at it. If you want to try to get a high draft pick, of course, you don't want to win games. But like I said, the NFL, at least that's what I always hear. Like, you can't tell like the team is gonna try to win. Like, you put too much work in to just go out there and want to lose a game. Like, well, in any sport really, but definitely football. Like, you prepare all week and then you go out there and, you know, maybe management probably wants you to rather lose the game. So they might make the coach make certain decisions that will maybe make the team a little bit weaker or whatever. But NFL locker rooms, what I've heard, like, there's no team out there that say, all right, we're going to go out there and lose. Definitely in the NFL. So, and Gardner Minshew looked good. You know, he's been looking good. Minshew made his back. So is he the answer? That's the thing. If Jacksonville say they go 8-8, they have a decision to make. Do you stick with Gardner Minshew? You could go 8-8 and still get a decent draft pick. But the only quarterback that I'm hearing, that's well, like they said, take for Trevor now. Trevor Lawrence from the Clemson Tigers. I mean, whether it's take for Trevor or it's be terrible for Trevor, whatever it is, it's a couple of sayings out there. And Jacksonville was in that race. Now, now they're saying maybe the Jets. The Jets look terrible right now. But the Jaguars is a little bit, I don't want to say surprising, but Gardner looked well. Got the win in week 1. Almost pulled out the win in Tennessee as well. But can they just stay in this? No, I don't think so. I don't think well, this is a game tonight they might win. But I don't know what their schedule look like. Maybe I should pull their schedule up as well. No, I don't see them making the playoffs either. But like I said, the AFC, you just never know. In this division, it's a little shaky. The Colts don't look as good. People thought they was going to look. The Titans, like I said, they still rolling along, still winning games. Ryan Tannehill playing pretty well again as well for the Titans. So to me, the Titans clearly the best team. It's still Houston at 0-2 is still Houston. They still a decent team. They just had 2 tough games. You played the defending champion Chiefs and then played the Baltimore Ravens. That's probably two of the best teams in football. So to be 0-2 on that, think about it that way, it's not for the sneeze at for the Houston Texans, but you're still 0-2. So let's look up, saying at the Jags schedule. You got Cincinnati the week after, then Houston, Detroit team. I ain't gonna touch on them too much, but they 0-2, but not a terrible team. But yeah, Jags schedule don't look too tough until they got Green Bay on here, Pittsburgh. That's gonna be a tough stretch. Green Bay and Pittsburgh back to back in November. But not no real terrible like murderous road schedule. Of course the division games are always tough, but as far as out of the division, it's not a lot of tough games on their schedule. But I just still don't think they'll make the playoffs. Like I said, I wouldn't be shocked. Like I said, just say they finish 8-8 or 7-9. I know as a fan you'll probably be frustrated because you won't have a high first round pick. You'll be like in the middle, in the middle of the first round. So, but at the same time, you don't want your team to lose. You don't want the team just to lose on purpose, even though, like I said, the NFL teams don't do that. In my opinion, anyway. But like I said, I didn't see too much for the Jaguars. Gardner Minshew has surprised some people so far, but it's still early in the season. It's only been 2 games, but he's played pretty well and been keeping the Jaguars competitive. So final verdict on this game, this is a tough game for me to pick because Miami has not looked too bad either. And Ryan Fitzpatrick is capable. He had a decent game last week. Usually he's up and down. This is the down game or the up game, I don't know. But if he plays well, Miami will definitely be in this game. The Jags, like I said, getting contributions for their young team. They did gut the team. Like I said, no Leonard Fournette. They finally got rid of the defensive end. Went to Minnesota, so they gutted it. Jalen Ramsey, all their top players is gone. So they definitely rebuilding, but just think they playing a little bit better than Miami, and they're at home. Even though being at home don't really make that much of a difference. I think in Florida they are allowing fans, so I think it might be some fans there tonight for the Jags, but the Jags don't have a lot of fans anyway. At least that's what they say. So who would want to come risk it to come see the Jags? But I think they win tonight. I think the Jaguars win tonight. I think it'll be a tight game. I got 27-24 Jacksonville. I think they win the game tonight. Go to 2-1. And some fans will probably be like, damn, wish we could lose some more games, get a high pick. But if Gardner keep looking like this, hand the reins to him. You can have him for cheap for a couple of years as well. You can help build the team, build a good team around there in Jacksonville. So I think it's good. If Gardner is the answer, I think that's good for them because they can save money. But We'll see, but like I said, that's why this is a tough game. Jaguars is 3-point straight. I think that's why. I think that's about right. I think they win by 3, maybe a late field goal. I think it'll be tight tonight. So we're gonna move on to the power rankings going into week 3. Like I said, there's a few changes here and there. A couple of teams lost last week. The Saints. That haven't looked good overall, even though they did win against Tampa in week 1, but they haven't looked sharp. But I think the top 4 teams are definitely, I think, deserve to be here. The 5th one could be argued. Some teams you can make an argument for, but I think this team, the 5th team, deserves to be here just by going off the end of last year and what they've done this year already. So let's start at number 5. Top 5 power rankings. Last week this team wasn't in the rankings, but now they cracked the top 5, probably first time since I've been doing power rankings. The Tennessee Titans is my 5th team, but let me explain that. You could argue a couple of other teams. Pittsburgh 2-0 right now. The LA Rams look good. A lot of teams, the other teams that's 2-0. The Chicago Bears, even though people already said that's flawed, but they still 2-0. And the Titans, you could. I think the knock against the Titans is who they played. They had a tight game against the Jaguars, which we already know from last week. And week 1 they beat the Denver Broncos, even though the Denver Broncos was more whole in week 1 before they. Now they had to suffer a lot of injuries as well. Cortland Sutton is gone for the year, and then they lose Locke, the quarterback, for a few weeks. So they've been having a lot of injuries right now, but they was whole in week 1. But I give Tennessee this spot because, and I thought about putting them in last week as well, because like I said, they made it to the AFC Championship game. They basically been on a roll since last year. Derrick Henry, still like Derrick Henry. Ryan Tannehill playing well. I think they just deserve to be here with what they've done lately, and in the last year. The 2 opponents, of course, you can't argue that it's too bad for both over 2 teams. It's Denver and Jacksonville's 1-1, but nobody think those 2 teams are going to do too much or nothing. So you can argue that. But as far as like just what the Titans did at the end of last year, and what I think they can continue to do this year. They lead this division, but they could win it now. They got a 2-game lead over the Houston Texans. They probably got some tough games coming up, I imagine, but I just think they deserve to be here at number 5. Like I say, you could put Pittsburgh here, the Rams. I would argue those 2 teams. Those 2 teams look sharp. Even though Pittsburgh only played the Giants and the Denver Broncos, and the Rams, they did beat the Eagles, who was supposed to be a good team. And I don't know about the Eagles, starting to worry about them at 0-2. And won against Dallas, who, so 2 NFC East teams. So you can argue, like I said, you can argue all those teams, but I would put Tennessee here. All right, I think the top 4 are no-brainers. Number 4, the Green Bay Packers. They was 5th last week on my power rankings. They moved up to 4. Got down against Detroit last week. They turned it on. They been a complete team, defense and offense. Aaron Rodgers, like the old Aaron Rodgers, which is not good news for the whole NFL. Green Bay, even though it's been 2 games, they looking sharp, looking like they will be a challenger for the NFC. At number 3, the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks was 4th last week. They jumped all the way up to 3. Well, not all the way up. They jumped up one spot to 3. Russell Wilson continued to be Russell Wilson. He's right now the leader in the clubhouse for MVP, easily. Tough game against New England. New England was right there on the goal line, but the defense got the stop. Jamal Adams proven to be a huge pickup for the Seahawks. Guess them 2 first rounders is worth it. Right now he's proving me wrong. He's made definitely an impact on the Seahawks defense. And like I said, Russell Wilson doing his thing. So Seattle's at number 3. Number 2, Baltimore Ravens. They stay put at number 2. They could move up next week because they will play the number 1 team next week. Ravens, impressive win against the Houston Texans. Just been dominant. A lot of stats out there. Basically, they the #1 team right now. As far as like offense, like a complete team, they top 5 and everything. I think I heard a stat this morning: top 5 in offense, defense, and special teams. So the Ravens will be a complete team, and it's going to be a showdown next Monday night as they play the #1 team on this list, the defending champion Kansas City Chiefs. They'll be #1 until they lose, which could be this week against the Ravens. Of course, we'll talk about that on Saturday as I pick all my games for week 3, but that's the biggest game definitely in week 3. This could go a long way for #1 seed in the AFC, which is now really more important because you get a bye. So this is a huge game. We'll talk all about it Saturday. Of course, if the Ravens win, they move up to #1, and the Chiefs won't move down too far unless they get blown out or something. I'll probably just flip them. But if the Chiefs win, they'll definitely be a firm #1, and the Ravens they'll still be in this top 5. Like I said, I'm not going to penalize those either two top teams in the NFL right now to me. So countdown again: #5, the Tennessee Titans; #4, the Green Bay Packers; #3, the Seattle Seahawks; #2, the Baltimore Ravens; and at #1, once again, the defending champion Kansas City Chiefs. And the Ravens and the Chiefs play each other this Monday night. Probably definitely the biggest game of the year so far. And like I said, who won this game will definitely have an inside track on the 1 seed, and they will hold a tiebreaker if they wind up having the same record. So this is a huge game with a lot of playoff implications from down the line, because both of these teams will likely going to win the divisions and probably going to be fighting for that #1 seed in the AFC. So that's it. Thank you for joining me this morning. It's about 9 o'clock Eastern time, so glad that y'all was able to join me. This game not flashy tonight. Two teams that's not expected to be around when the postseason comes, but just watch it because Tua might play. Something might happen to Ryan Fitzpatrick, though. Hopefully it don't, like injury-wise. I wish for that, but maybe he plays bad and they put him in. And the Jaguars, I always want to see how the fans feel if they win this game. I think deep down the fans kind of want them to lose, but like I said, if Gardner Minshew is the answer, then you won't need Trevor Lawrence. But I think teams would rather have Trevor Lawrence right now. Looking at this situation, so we'll see. Well, it'll be an interesting game if you look at it in certain other ways. And like I said, I think it's going to be a close game, so I think it'll be a good game. Got NBA playoffs continuing tonight. Nuggets, Lakers, Nuggets down 2 games to 1. It's a huge game here. So we've got a lot of things to look forward to, a lot to talk about on Saturday. So join me then as we look at the NBA playoffs, baseball playoffs. We're starting to form as more teams starting to clinch playoff spots. Of course, the best of 3 in the wild card round this year. So we have a lot to talk about Saturday. But enjoy the football game tonight. Enjoy the NBA playoffs. Enjoy your sports, period. And I'm Troy West. Thank you for joining me. And I'll see y'all Saturday. Right back here on the Solid Sports and Gaming channel. Thank you so much for watching. And thank you for the support. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much.